really awesome term start. You guys get to do maths on your couch, which I think if you ask all your parents, that was their dream at school. So, yeah, no, pretty nice start to the term. On a serious note, guys, I hope you're doing all right and getting on with the work. And we're starting off today. I'm just going to kick off this little video. Fun-filled Friday fractions with Mr. F. Okay, now I know it's Thursday, but I just thought it would be nice, if you remember your English, that's an alliteration. What's an alliteration got to do with mathematics? Well, absolutely nothing. But so any of you want to have an alliteration that makes sense, watch this video tomorrow. And those of you who doubt that fractions are fun, well, fractions always involve pizza for some reason. Like everybody always talks about pizza and chocolate. So what's more fun than that? So anyway, guys, we're going to get on to the video. I'm just going to do, this is a revision video, so this is work that we've done. And it just ties in with the exercise that you guys are doing in your textbooks. And I'm just going to cover some of the basics of fractions. So equivalent fractions, we're going to be covering ordering fractions, adding fractions, subtracting fractions, and multiplying fractions. Okay, so pull up a seat and let's get started. Okay, so if you remember from term 1, if I were to take a slab of chocolate, okay, so this is a beautiful slab of bubbly Cadbury's chocolate. Okay, and this chocolate belongs to Jane, okay? And if Jane were decided that she went down on the playground and she wanted to divide her chocolate in half, okay, so she's going to cut the chocolate in half, okay? Jane is now going to take this piece over here, and she's going to give Sarah this little piece over here. Okay, so this chocolate has been cut into 2 pieces. Okay, it's been cut into 2 pieces. This is one part of 2, and this is the other part of 2. So this is one half, and this is the other half. This is one part of 2. This is the other part of the 2. Okay, so this is in 2 halves. Right, now she decides, okay, so Sarah's got this little piece of chocolate, Jane's got this little piece of chocolate, and they both decide, okay, that they want to share their chocolate again. So Sarah comes along and she divides her piece of chocolate. Jane comes along and divides her piece of chocolate. Okay, the chocolate is now in 4 pieces. Okay, this is one part of 4 over here. This is one part of 4 over here. The other part of the 4 is here, and the other part is here. Okay, so that is, the chocolate is divided into 4 parts, and there are 4 quarters. If I took the original piece over here, that was Sarah's. Sarah's chocolate originally was 1/2 of the chocolate. Because we've divided it again, it is also equivalent to 2 quarters. Okay, so the quarter and the quarter together is the same as if I were to say, as it was originally, 1/2. Okay, so 1/2 of this chocolate is exactly the same size as 2 quarters. Okay, now mathematically, there's a little trick that we can use, and that is to find an equivalent fraction. Whatever we times or divide the numerator by, we times or divide the denominator. So in this case, we said 1 was times by 2 to get 2. So whatever we do to the top, we have to do to the bottom. And that becomes 4. So 1/2 is equal to 2 quarters. Then if you remember, like we did in term 1, okay, let's say, for example, let's take a random number. Let's take 8. Let's times the numerator by 8. What do we get? 1 times 8 equals 8. Okay, whatever we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top. Or whatever we do to the top, we have to do to the bottom. 2 times 8 equals 16. Okay, so 8/16 is an equivalent fraction to 1/2. Okay, it makes sense because 8 is half of 16. So if I now take this piece of chocolate and I divide it into 16 pieces, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and I color in 8 of those 16. I've colored in half my chocolate. So 8/16 is equivalent to 1/2, and that is equivalent fractions. Okay, so the next thing that we did in term 1 that I'm going to go over with you here is ordering fractions. Okay, now remember we said it's easy if you want to order 2, 3, 6, 8. Let's say I asked you to write these numbers in ascending order. So in other words, ascending, going up the mountain, A is from the lowest to the highest. If I were to say arrange 2, 3, 6, and 8 in ascending order, it's very easy, right? Because you've got 2 smaller than 3, so 2 comes first, then 3, then 6, then 8. Okay, but when we have fractions, it gets a little tricky. Okay, because obviously you can't, they all have different denominators. Remember we spoke about this? Okay, because they have different denominators, they are very difficult to order. So, what do? Okay, we have to find the lowest common denominator. Remember your LCD? The lowest common denominator. Okay, that is the number that when I times any of these denominators by, it will fit into that lowest common denominator. Okay, now remember the best way to do this is you take your biggest number that you can find, okay, and you just count in multiples of this number. So let's take 8. We'll go 8. Does 6, 3, and 2 fit into 8? No. Okay, 16. 2 can fit into 16. 3 can't. 6 can't. Okay, so 16 is not going to be your LCD. Okay. Then what comes next? 24. Okay. Does 2 fit into 24? Yep or yes? Okay. Does 3 fit into 24? Yep. Does 6 fit into 24? Yep. Does 8 fit into 24? You got it. Okay. So your LCD in this case will equal 24. Okay. So that means all the denominators here must be changed to 24. You just automatically change them to 24. Okay, you remember this? Okay, now the rule is, okay, the same with equivalent fractions. Whatever I did to the bottom, I have to do to the top. Whatever you do to the toes, you got to do to the nose. Okay, whatever you do to the nose, you got to do to the toes. Okay, so to get to 24, I times 2 by, in fact, let me get another color, then I'm not going to confuse you guys. Okay, to get to 24, I times 2 by 12. That means I need to times the top by 12. And that gives me 12/24. Okay, what did I times 3 by to get 24? I times it by 8. What I do to the toes, I got to do to the nose. What I do to the bottom, do to the top. 1 times 8 is 8. Okay. What did I do to 6 to get 24? I times it by 4. What I do to the bottom, got to do to the top. Okay, so 1 times 4 is 4. Okay. What did I do to the 8 to get to 24? I times it by 3. What I do to the bottom, I got to do to the top. Okay. Right, you got this. So now I can see, now because they all got a denominator of 24, I can see, oh, this one's clearly the biggest. Okay. Second biggest. Third biggest. Smallest. Okay. So now I can arrange them and I can say, let's go from biggest to smallest. We're going to go 1/8, 1/6, 1/3, and 1/2. They are now arranged from from smallest to biggest in ascending order. Okay, I hope that helps. That is ordering fractions.